Today's yoga story is Virabhadra, warrior pose. Welcome to episode 2.
There's our blanket. Excellent.
Asymmetrical twin. Dropping and sinking.
Notice how
So just notice. Joining us for the second episode next week. Namaste. Hello and welcome to episode 87 of Namaste Yoga. Sorry we're a little delayed in getting it to you this week. We've had so much going on here, and anyway, we're going to get the next two to you really quickly. Today's class is on Virabhadrasana, warrior pose. This is about our own spiritual warrior who bravely battles with the universal energy of self-ignorance, avidya, which is the ultimate source of our suffering. So I'm going to share with you the story of how Virabhadra came to life, but just know that it is a metaphor for the kind of ongoing battles that go on in our own minds day in and day out. So go ahead and rest back, lie down on your mat. So this is a story about Shiva, the god of destruction, and in this lifetime Shiva's wife is Sati. And Sati was a beautiful young woman born to Daksha. Daksha was the person who was in charge of throwing all ritual-like parties in the universe. So, and she had her heart set on Shiva for a very long time, and eventually they were married. So after they were married, Sati's father, Daksha, decided to hold a ritual. And, you know, Daksha wasn't too fond of Shiva, not too fond of Shiva at all. He didn't like his daughter Sati being married to a man with dreadlocks who spent thousands of years meditating in the mountains. He just didn't think that Shiva was the best partner for his daughter. So he intentionally didn't invite Shiva to this ritual. Well, so Sati decided to go to the ritual anyway, and Shiva knew that there was going to be trouble, but she went along to the ritual by herself. Well, when she got there, it was clear that everybody was purposefully leaving Shiva out. They were making fun of him and, you know, making fun of her choice in husbands and all sorts of things like that. And so Sati became so upset by all of this that she threw herself into a fire, the fire that was set up for the ritual, and she was consumed by the flames and left in ashes. Well, of course, word of this got to Shiva pretty quickly, and you can imagine that if your bride had thrown herself into a fire out of despair because of the way people were making ignorant comments about you, you might be a little upset. So Shiva was incredibly angry, and he stood up out of meditation, and he actually tore one of his dreadlocks from his hair and threw it down on the ground. And I think this is where we get the expression tearing your hair out. So he threw it down on the ground, and out of this burst of anger rose up Virabhadra, the fierce warrior. And Virabhadra was said to have 1,000 eyes and 1,000 arms and just being really, really scary looking. So Virabhadra was at his service, and Virabhadra, you can imagine him rising up in Warrior 1. So he left, and off he went to the ritual where Sati had been consumed by the fire. So when he went there, he continued his anger, and he began killing sprees, starting with Daksha. So you can imagine Virabhadra drawing his sword just like in Warrior 2, and then cutting Daksha's head off. And he placed Daksha's head on a stake. So all this was done in reaction and anger. So everybody stood back aghast, and of course Sati, even though she was incredibly upset that she would have found the only way to find a solution was to murder her father. So Sati very quickly came back to life in another form. And she said to Shiva, how could you do this? How could you kill my father? And Shiva, he regretted that he reacted in anger so much. So Sati says to Shiva, you need to make this right. And so this is kind of like the Ganesh story, but so because Daksha's head was cut off and it was in no state to be returned to his body, they found the head of something else as close by as they could. So they got the head of a goat and put it back on Daksha. And when Daksha came back to life, he was so grateful that Shiva had given him his life back that he held another ritual and invited Shiva this time. So all was put right in the world. There's another version of the story where Shiva goes to the party after Sati had thrown herself in the fire, and in anger and grief he draws Sati's body out of the fire and he begins to walk this walk of grief, and he carries her body, his body with her, her body with him wherever he goes. And in this story, his grief is so overcoming that Vishnu has to step in to set things right, because this is no way for the god of destruction to act in the world. So what Vishnu does is he shoots arrows at Sati's body, and each time a piece of her body falls to the ground, a beautiful Sakti pot comes up there, and that just means a beautiful ritual place for the goddess rises up there. And after all the pieces of her body fall away with the help of Vishnu, the god of preservation, then Shiva's anger finally subsides. So this is a story of teaching us to work with right action versus reaction. And in this story, we're learning how to fight against our reactive mind. So I want you to, we all, these gods are so wonderful at telling these stories for us, because we all have these reactive minds, and we do often wish to react out of anger. And so just consider this story as you begin to set your intention for your practice today. Maybe consider times that you've reacted instead of acted mindfully. Okay, and then I'm going to have you stretch out and wiggle out in whatever way is comfortable for you. And maybe do a few little stretches for what would feel good in your body right now. We are going to start standing, so do whatever you need to do before you come up to standing. Stand with your feet hip-width apart underneath your hip bones, and lift and spread your toes nice and wide. Check that the inner edges of your feet are parallel. Lengthen your legs long out of your pelvis, and that should cause your spine to lengthen up as well. Roll your shoulders back and down, and bring your ears back over your shoulders, and just close your eyes and notice what it's like to stand in a warrior's body. To be mindful of standing, to be mindful of your truth, and to be mindful of that capacity that we all have to have that reactive mind. And then bring your hands to your heart center. So one of the ways that we can work against our reactive mind, I believe, is to keep coming back to our heart center. And this little vinyasa really does that quite nicely. Quite literally, we come back to our heart. So breathe in here. You're going to breathe out round your back like an angry cat. Breathing, come back center. Breathe out, hands at your heart. Breathe in, reach your arms up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in center. Breathe out side bend. Breathe in center. Breathe out back hands to your heart. Breathe in, open your arms behind you. Breathe out, lift your chest. Breathe in back to your heart. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out, round your back. Breathe in, come back to your heart. Exhale. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, open your arms around behind you. Roll your shoulders back and down. Exhale, lift your heart. Inhale, back to center. And exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out, round your back. Breathe in, back to your heart. Breathe out. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, back to your heart. Breathe in, take your arms around behind you. Breathe out, lift your chest. Breathe in, back to your heart. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out, round your back. Breathe in, back to your heart. Breathe out. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, hands to your heart. Breathe in, open your chest. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, back to your heart. And breathe out. One more time, breathe in. Breathe out, round through your back. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, hands to your heart. Breathe in, open your chest. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, back to your heart. And breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out, round through your back. Breathe in, center. Breathe out. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, side bend. Breathe in, center. Breathe out, hands to your heart. Breathe in, open. Breathe out, lift. Breathe in, back to your heart. And breathe out. And pause here with your eyes closed. And feel what it's like to dwell in your heart center. And I have a quote for you here by Socrates. And he says, "I call myself a peaceful warrior because the battles we fight are on the inside. I call myself a peaceful warrior because the battles we fight or on the inside. Okay, come and stand at the top of your mat. And you're going to place your hands in front of you. Inhale here. Exhale, you're going to sit down as though you're sitting into a very low chair. And in fact, you're going to sit all the way down. Try not to sit on my mic. And then you're going to lengthen your legs out long in front of you. Inhale here. And you're going to exhale, roll all the way down, bone by bone by bone. Your arms will come up and overhead, and then exhale down and around. So let's bend your knees here. Place your feet flat on the floor. And you're going to press into your feet and lift your pelvis up off the ground. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. And exhale down and around. And we'll keep going like that. Inhale, arc your arms overhead. Just like the Virabhadrasana arms in Warrior 1, where the arms rise up. Exhale down and around. Inhale, reach up. Exhale down and around. Whew, keep hitting that zucchini leaf every time around. Inhale, reach up. Exhale down and around. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, down and around. And one more. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, down and around. Great. And then slowly lower down. And hug your knees into your chest. Maybe just rock your body from side to side here. And as you rock your body from side to side here, I'm going to read you a quote. Another quote. The peaceful warrior's way is not about invulnerability, but absolute vulnerability to the world, to life, to the presence you feel. A warrior's life is not about imagined perfection or victory. It is about love. Love is a warrior's sword. Wherever it cuts, it gives life, not death. Okay, so we're going to continue here on the ground, doing a sequence on the ground. Okay, so you're going to lie on the ground with your knees bent and your arms out to the side in a soft T. We're going to do a little recline twist sequence. We'll just begin by pressing your feet into the ground, lifting your hips off the ground, and just placing them over to the right a little bit, and then drop your knees to your left side so you're in a recline twist. Okay, and actually, we're going to start all the way on your left side. That would have been easier if we had just done that. Can you see me in the grass here? Okay, we're going to inhale, arc your arm all the way overhead, so you're circling around, and then you're going to exhale and circle back. Okay, so we're rolling into the twist. Inhale, arcing around, and then exhale and circle back. So here we're opening our arms up, opening our upper chest up. When we come into that twist, see right here, you're in that warrior 2 arm position. Exhale down and around. The drawing of your arrow. Hopefully a peaceful arrow, but we are only human, so there are going to be those reactive arrows. You can just ask my husband. The reactive arrows happen. You just got to ask your family, right? Okay, and exhale, circle back and around. And then we're going to actually draw the arrow. So you're going to slide your right hand over your left hand as if you're drawing the arrow across your chest and roll open. And exhale and glide back. So just sliding. Try and keep your knees stacked here. And exhaling and back. What a funny day. The sun's in, the sun's out, the wind's here, the wind's not. We've had a lot of change in our weather since last evening. Just keeps changing. Okay, and then come into the twist and pause in the twist. Okay, and then the next step I want you to take is to straighten both legs out and leave your top right leg there. Take your bottom left leg straight down. You may be able to hold on to your right toe with your left hand. If not, you can hold on somewhere on your leg. And then the next step is to bend your bottom left leg up. You're going to hold on to it with your right hand. And so it's kind of a twist and a back bend here. Here's the sun again. Okay, and then you're going to release this from your body, gather everything up, and come on to your back. And just pause for a moment on your back. Maybe do something symmetrical, either Shavasana, bridge pose again, or knees to chest. And as you do your counter pose, I'm going to share another quote with you. So this is from Dan Millman, who wrote The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. And Dan Millman says, responsibility is a grace you give yourself, not an obligation. Responsibility is a grace you give yourself, not an obligation. Okay, let's do that whole sequence on the other side. So let's start it the easy way this time, which is to lie on your right side. I'm going to turn to the other side of the mat so I can face you. You can see how much my vegetable garden's grown since the last time we were out here recording. We've been eating so much salad, you wouldn't know it by how much lettuce is still there, but honestly, we are eating a lot of salad. Okay, so we're going to stack your legs one on top of each other. Your knees are bent up to a 90-degree angle. Your left hand stacks on top of your right hand. If you're in your house and you have access to a pillow or something, roll it up so you give yourself a little lift there so your neck's not hanging down like mine is here. Okay, so let's start same sequence. Just inhale, circle your left arm overhead, and you're going to exhale and circle it back around. Great. And then stack your left hand on top of your right hand. You'll do the arrow, holding the arrow across. Inhale, open. So there's your warrior two arms. And exhale back. And this time let's come into the twist and stay in the twist. Okay, I'm going to try and stay with you as long as I can on this side, but I do have a pinched nerve on my SI joint here that causes me some trouble. So I might just demonstrate and duck out, but you guys can stay with it. So what we're going to do is straighten out both your legs, and then leave your top left leg there and bring your bottom right one straight down. So you can rest the inside edge of your foot on the ground here. I'm just going to lift my, I'm going to duck out. Okay, so you guys are going to stay here. I'm going to just take some pressure off my joint here. So you could do that by bending your knee too. Okay, and then the last step of that one is with your top leg straight, and you'll bend your, maybe I'll just show you on the other side. So you'll keep your top leg straight, and you'll bend your bottom leg and hold on. Okay, and then slowly release and come back onto your back. And again, something symmetrical after that really asymmetrical sequence. So maybe knees to chest or bridge pose, wheel if you're that flexible, shavasana, something just straight, where the spine can be straight. And have a moment to receive the posture. And as you're holding this counter pose, I'll just read to you another quote by Dan Millman. Unless somebody truly has the power to say no, they never have the power to say yes. So unless somebody truly has the power to say no, they never have the power to say yes. So that's Dan Millman, The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Okay, so make your way up onto all fours. We're going to do some cat pose. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and exhale, round up through your back and shift back. Inhale and arch your back forward. So exhale, rounding as you shift back. And inhale and come forward. And as you do that cat stretch, I'm going to read to you a quote by Andrew Harvey. I really think that Andrew Harvey is one of the greatest spiritual warriors of our time. He wrote an incredible book called Sacred Activism. So Andrew Harvey says, great powers flow into us as we empty ourselves of false concepts and attachments. And these powers could help us in every way here to heal and transform our degraded inner and outer worlds. Great powers flow into us as we empty ourselves of false concepts and attachments, and these powers could help us in every way to heal and transform our degraded inner and outer worlds. That's Andrew Harvey. And I think that so much just speaks to what yoga is all about for me anyway. Okay, then come back centered. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Keep your knees underneath your hips. Slide your left leg to the back of your mat and your right arm forward. And you're going to lift your opposite arm and leg, your left arm and your right leg. So this starts to prepare us for warrior 3 pose when we stand up. So another Andrew Harvey quote, "Embodied divinity is possible for all human beings who dare to awaken to their inner truth and the responsibilities for transformation that it embodies within them." Okay, bring your arms and legs down. Sit back on your heels for child's pose and rest. Maybe just a little bit of circling for your wrists here too. And then let's go to the other side. So inhale up onto all fours again. This time slide your right leg to the back of your mat and your left arm forward. You're going to lift your opposite arm and leg and hold. Keep your core strong. Embodied divinity is possible for all human beings who dare to awaken their inner truth and the responsibilities for transformation that it embodies within them. Okay, bring your arms and legs in. Sit back on your heels, stretch, child's pose. And then roll up through your spine. You can come up to kneeling and stand on your knees. And you're going to take a step forward with your left leg. So you'll come into lunge pose, opening up your right hip. Sink down through your front left foot, come upright. And we're going to lift up our warrior 1 arms. Okay, and then bring your arms in front of you. You're going to stay in lunge pose. You're going to draw your arrow back, draw your right arm back. So you're in lunge pose with warrior 2 arms. Nice little twist for your thoracic spine. And then come back center. Let's step into downward facing dog for a nice symmetrical counter pose. And then bend your knees onto the ground. You're going to roll up through your spine again. This time you're going to step your right foot through. So lunge pose on the other side. Sink down through your front right foot. Come upright warrior one arms. So another Andrew Harvey quote here. Love means nothing unless it is put into action for compassion and justice. Love means nothing unless it is put into action for compassion and justice. Okay, so now bring your arms forward. We'll do that warrior two one again. Draw your arrow back. This is a nice little twist for your thoracic spine. Oh yeah, this is the shot warrior two is the shot that we use on a lot of our promo stuff. Okay. So release this from your body. Let's come back into downward facing dog and then up to standing. Okay, and then walk your feet into your hands and come all the way up to standing. Okay, so we're going to start with warrior one pose. So think in the story when Shiva threw down that lock of his hair, that dreadlock, and out of the ground sprang Virabhadra, the fierce warrior. Stand at the front of your mat and take a big step back with your right foot. Turn your hips so they face the front short edge of your mat. Sink down through your front left sit bone so your front knee is bent. And then arc your arms up. Warrior one, Virabhadra. So apparently the sequence of these poses has nothing to do with the order of them, 1, 2, and 3. It has to do with how many limbs are in the air. So in this one, you've got your arms up, that's 1. And then release this pose from your body. Step forward again. Let's do warrior one on the other side. So this time leave your right foot in front. Take a generous step back with your left foot. Turn your hips so they face the front end of your mat. You're going to sink down through your right sit bone and arc your arms up. Virabhadra one, the rising up of the warrior. Okay, and then release this pose from your body. Going to step forward again, and this time we'll do warrior two. So warrior two is the drawing of the arrow. This time you're going to take a generous step back with your right foot And turn your hips to the long edge of your mat. You'll bend your front left knee, but make sure it stays rolled out over your second and third toes. And then bring your arms up, Warrior 2, Virabhadra 2. And this pose, you can see 1, 2 limbs here. So that's why it's called Warrior 2. Okay, and then release your arms down. Turn your toes so they're both facing that long edge of your mat. Let's do a wide-legged forward fold as a counter pose here. Okay, and then come upright again and turn your left toes in this time and your right toes towards the other short edge of your mat. Keep your hips facing the long edge of your mat. Of course, depending on your flexibility of your hips, you may have to favor your knee over your hip. So bend your front right knee, roll your knee out. So notice my hips are going to move a little bit towards my knee here. So more important to take care of your knee than to have your hips all the way turned here. And then bring your arms up to parallel to the ground. Warrior 2 arms, Virabhadra 2. And then slowly release this posture from your body and bring your feet in. So one thing I wanted you guys know today that I'm really excited about, because of your donations, we want to continually improve the quality of the show for you. And one of the things that we've been able to purchase because of your donations is, what's it called, Tim? So what that's going to allow Tim to do is to walk around, and we're going to have to be more careful about our backdrops now. But you'll be able to get like a 360-degree view of what's going on. You know, in the movies, it's going to be like the movies, kind of, where you get those big round shots. But we're going to be able to do those for you now, which is great. So, which I just think is going to be so great for yoga. It's going to give you a nice smooth shot, and you're going to be able to see poses from every angle. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait for it to arrive. It's coming from the UK, so Tim thinks it'll be here soon. I think it might take a little time to arrive. Plus, Canada Post has been on strike in Canada here. So yeah, we're dealing with a few challenges as to the arrival of that camera, but hopefully, you know, best case scenario, we might even have it for you tomorrow to do episode 88. Okay, so arms in the air. We're going to do Warrior 3. So this one, think about Virabhadra placing Daksha's head on the stake. This story has everything. It's got jealousy, it's got rage, it's got murder, it's got suicide. I mean, this story has everything. Exciting story. Okay, reach your arms up. So this time you've got 3 limbs off the ground. You're going to inhale here and exhale, tip forward. And then slowly up. Let's exhale our arms down and around. Take a deep breath in and exhale it out. Okay, and then let's stand on your other foot. Inhale, arc your arms up. Exhale and tip forward. Okay, and then release this pose from your body. All right, so as warriors, sometimes things don't work out for us and we have to let go. So there's this incredible pose called Dying Warrior, one of my favorite poses, definitely one of my favorite poses to teach and to watch my students do. You're going to come down onto all fours. This is a lying down on the ground pose. So you'll start on all fours and walk your knees out to the right side of your mat so that you'll lower your left hip down onto the mat. And then you're going to lie down on your chest with your arms out to the side. Okay? So in this pose, you really need to put on your listening ears because and really listen to the directions, okay? This one tends to get confusing for people. What you're going to do now is straighten both your legs out to the side. Okay? And then the next piece of this is really simple. You're just going to take your top right leg and bring it straight down. You're going to leave your left leg where it is. And turn your right hip towards the inside of your left thigh. And that's it. That's Dying Warrior. Well, actually, there's another step to it if you wish. If you don't have any neck injuries or issues, you can actually turn your head to the left to face the other way. So for me, that's not a good idea. I like to be kind to my neck, which has been through too many whiplashes. Okay, and then gather up your warriors. This is the best part about playing Dying Warrior on the mat, is that you get to come back to life. So there you have it, reincarnation. Okay, come back to the center. And let's go over to the other side. Walk your knees over to the left side of your mat. You're going to lower your right hip down this time. And then lie your chest on the ground, arms out to the side. And then you're going to straighten out your legs. You know, I kind of got sidetracked there. You can stay here. This is a nice modified version of the pose. The next step is to straighten out your legs. And then you can take your top left leg straight down as well. Okay, and then gather up your Dying Warrior, come back up onto all fours, and sit with your legs straight out in front of you. Okay, so Dying Warrior, the next pose that I want to do, just one more pose. It's really quick. I'm getting the I'm getting the arrow, the warrior's arrow here. Okay, so one more pose. They want to do this pose. They probably don't actually. What you're going to do is place your hands on the ground. For my shoulders, I like to have angle. You're going to play around and see what way you want your hands. You can turn your hands all the way around, or you can turn them in. You're going to see what works best for you. Okay, so mine like to be like this. You're going to roll your shoulders back and down and lift your chest, and then lift your pelvis up off the ground. Modified version of that pose would be to do it with your knees bent. Okay? And then you're going to lower yourself down, and we're going to come around to child's pose. So I chose that pose because to me it's like that shield of armor, lifting that shield of armor that a warrior might wear. Okay, and then roll up through your spine and come to a seated position. Bring your hands to prayer position, and we'll finish with a quote today by Francis de Sales. Nothing is so strong as gentleness. Nothing is so gentle as real strength. Namaste. Thank you for joining us for episode 87 of Namaste Yoga. Remember to send us your emails and feedback about the show, how you're integrating it into your own life and how it's helping you in your life. You can friend us on Facebook, find Namaste Yoga on Facebook and like us there. And thank you so much for all your kind donations, which is helping us to continue to produce this show and continually improve it for you as well. So thanks so much for being with us here today. And we'll see you real soon for next week. We're going to do Kurmasana, turtle pose. Namaste.